So B613, August 6, 2000, Aaliyah wore this Beyonce shirt in the Carmen Hip Hopera, where she passes away in the movie. So she plays in Carmen Hip Hopera. She passed away. The wings are cut off, the heart's cut off. So the movie came out May 8th, 2001. Aaliyah passes away August 25th. So the movie comes out before she passed away. So a lot of times, wardrobe is spiritual wardrobe, spiritual warfare. American Eagle, the eagle, Americans, the quarter, the eagle. So we're in the astral waters, and basically she did the Rock the Vote video August 25th. Then 9/11 happened right after, the same year, a couple weeks later. 9/11, Twin Towers, they fall. She's on Virgin Airlines, or Virgin Music Group, which is Black Round Records' parent company, and she's on a plane. 622, the guy flying the plane crashes all 9 people, like 9 lives, the cat, like Katniss, like Hunger Games, like Catwoman, Halle Berry, Halle Bailey, The Little Mermaid. And I'm on part 18, so if you don't catch up, then you probably not gonna know what I'm talking about. Reminds me of Stranger Things, Millie Bobby Brown, like Whitney Houston, like the water in the tub, Harriet Tubman. Spiritually, you need to be free. So you need to not only break away like physically, but spiritually, you need to like be free from whatever they're doing. So Stranger Things with the water in the tub, and Papa Legba, B613, 613, twins birthday of Beyonce, which we talked about earlier. So Harriet Tubman, Whitney Houston, 11/2, Baron Samedi, 11/2 feast day. So 2/11, 11/11, wake up. The Pope got into the papacy, Pope Leo, the XIV, like Blue Ivy. And she was born August 12th. So this is the Helena Blavatsky Lemare, which goes to Matthew Hopkins, passing away August 12th. He was a witch hunter, like Hopkinsville, Kentucky. So that connection right there. Emory University, or like the Hopkins with Henrietta Lacks. Henrietta Lacks has that never-ending DNA. So a lot of it has to do with like that DNA that never dies, you know? Literally, witch hunter general, burning the witches. So Mr. Burns, The Simpsons, the saxophone, Elisa. So just know there's a lot going on. And till this day, they're still looking for the spiritual DNA that could travel in astral to take them out. So learning about your birth decode when you sleep, or when you have any experiences, or you work on your spiritual part, then at least you know more spiritually. Because like if you become rich and you bypass the spiritual part, they could take you down. Anybody could become rich, bad or good. You could be evil. Look at the world run by evil and have zillions of dollars. But in order to stay on top of the world and make yourself evil and in power, you got to make sure all the dreams of the less fortunate people don't come true. So say you had opportunities and you were able to go from $1 to a million or a zillion. If you're a good person on the top, if you don't know how to understand your own spiritual decode on your birthday, then they could take you down. You don't even know it. You don't even know that you are a target. You might just be like, well, I just want a family and a child. I'm not a target. Like, I'm just going to get married, have kids. I'm not going to do anything. But if your kids are future leaders, what if you're Malcolm X's, like a future Malcolm X's or Martin Luther King or JFK's parent? They're looking at the parents before the child even comes out. They already know. They're already trying to stop their soulmates so they don't create the children. So even when you don't think you're important and you're just like, oh, I'm just going to be a regular person, you don't know what your kids are going to be. Or maybe you're that one friend that lets the person borrow rent money. Maybe that person that borrowed rent money has a child that's going to become JFK, Martin Luther King, MLK. So you helped your person with rent so they don't get evicted. Now their whole family is free to live another day where their kids could be free to rule and help get good people on top. That's why birthday decodes are important. That's it's important to know who's born, passed away, and what connects in social media or what connects in like the news. Because if you don't know what connects in the news, a lot of times they're running a whole entire matrix code on your birthday and you don't know how it's affecting you, but you know maybe that day you can't sleep, maybe you got into a car accident. All these things were happening to you at the same time. They're running codes on June 30th, B613. So that's why it's important to pay attention to your birthday decode. And this is part 18 of June 30th. The guy that writes it is Ronald Bassett, who wrote the Witch General Hunter, movie. So when you think about like his pseudonym is William Clive, like Clive Davis, like P. Diddy, Angela Bassett, like the Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. So a lot of us are from secret, and like we're from DNA that's really powerful, and we mix with other cultures, Lemurians. So a lot of these people study Lemurian, Egyptians, Haitians, West Africans, and all these things, and then they have technology, artificial intelligence, they have information, they have a DNA. They know everything about us before we know who we are. We did a human genome and map. Even if you didn't get a DNA test, like Ancestry, they still could do a frequency because we're water and DNA is like a ladder and we're frequency. So music and movies and spells, they're all about when you're talking about. That could just send your DNA into a spiral and they don't even have your DNA. Like I got spiritually attacked and I didn't even do a DNA test. But then later on I did and figured out that a little bit Egyptian from ancient Egyptians, which makes sense. So when you look at people like Edgar Casey living in Hopkinsville, Kentucky, and basically his energy, then you'll see like he's a sleeping prophet. So he'd go to sleep and download things, and he created a healthcare system that he tried to help people. But at the same time, he is going to be channeling things. So Edgar Casey in Hopkinsville, Kentucky, and the Hopkinsville witch hunters, they're all in the same energetic field. Helena Blavatsky and Edgar Casey had similar teachings and were like, one was before the other, but they have a lot of information that was shared across. So definitely go into Lemuria, Edgar Casey, Helena Blavatsky, the Hopkinsville, if you're born June 30th, because B613 is like Papa Pope in Scandal. There's different things going on in different levels where you think you're nobody, but they know who you are. And maybe this lifetime wasn't meant to be the highest, but the next lifetime is. But you don't know that. Why? Because they're sending people your way, remote viewers, different babies, different boyfriend, baby daddies, no money, everything possible so you don't wake up to what you're supposed to do in this lifetime. So that way when you come back to earth, something's fixed. Say you were adopted and the adoption agencies were horrible and you decided to start a new adoption place, like you decided to adopt kids to help them. That might change the adopted kids' timeline and where they become great and change the future for many people. So your little life means a lot because you could affect one person that could affect millions of people, that could help good people have, food, healthcare, good food, real food, place to live, transportation. Women have a place to live no matter what, because having a child is a job. Yes, you volunteer for a job, but you also volunteer for the military. When you volunteer for the military, they still pay you a stipend for volunteering. So if you're volunteering to have children of the earth that are going to mine the earth, it's still a service. So all you people having children, make sure you get a financially secure person to help you. And you could be financially secure yourself, billionaires, but make sure that money keeps coming in. Because what if you're Rihanna and you lose your job and now you have a boyfriend who don't have as much money? How are you going to pay your mortgage for $10 billion when your boyfriend makes McDonald's money? So at the end of the day, you need some money to support your children because they're going to act like it's volunteering. And volunteering means that you're being a mother for free. And they're not going to help you anything. You could have 2 kids and get divorced and not qualify for anything. And now you're sitting here, didn't know you were going to be divorced, try to do it the right way. And you're still a mom. Moms have to pick up their kids between 8 and 3. What jobs are like, come whenever you want. If your child has an emergency, they don't care. So a lot of things like having children, you send a horrible person to have children with a woman, and that's basically sending her back another lifetime because now she got to worry about 18 years of a kid. Yes, she volunteered for it. Yes, she opened her legs. So Legba and Baron Samedi close the legs. The women close the legs, and that you have a partner willing to do it forever that loves you in the way they're supposed to love you, whether it be a mother, a sister, somebody that has money to make sure that a partnership to make sure that one of you goes to work, one of you stay home, because these men are dropping babies off to you. That's why it's good to do a birthday decode, because you will start to see your birthdays connected to the man you're dating. The man you're dating connected to August 12th. August 12th connected to the witch hunters. You'll know you're a witch. Now this baby daddy, this husband is dropping off multiple babies thinking he's in love. You're in love. He was sent to get you pregnant, to slow you down. So you have no money and you're homeless with your kids because you can't leave them with the baby daddy because the baby daddy's a little demonic. And you didn't know that because you didn't know August 12th was on the line of Helena Blavatsky and the witch hunters, married to a witch hunter by proxy. That's what happens if you don't know how to birthday decodes in real life.